Hello, this is our weekly overview for my junior level students. Let's talk about what we're doing this week. All right, so if you go to the home page and you go to the side panel where it says modules, you click that, you'll see at the very top of the module page, it is that time of year again. We have to take our reading and math STAR test. We have to check your progress, how good your math and your reading skills have gotten throughout the year. So if you click this link, okay, the instructions are going to be right here. Just follow them. You'll click this link right here. You'll type in your 6-digit UID number into the correct box. Then for the password, it's going to be lowercase ahs. And this doesn't always happen, but as you're taking the test, if you get the pop-up that asks for a monitor password, the password is always going to be lowercase admin. I don't know what that means. I don't know what its purpose is. That's just how Renaissance works. Now, when you open up the Renaissance portal, you'll see these two boxes. You'll see the option to take the STAR reading test. You'll also see the option to take the STAR math test. And even though this is an English class, I need you to do both. So the testing window for this closes on March 26th. That's on Friday. So make sure that you have both of these tests done by then, before the spring break. What we're also going to work on this week is our SBAC preparedness. All right, we have to take the SBAC this year. All juniors need to take a state test, and this is what it is. So in order to prepare you for this, I made a separate module with the test-taking instructions. Now, I would love to just see you in person, see you in a classroom setting, hand you a test booklet, and just give you number 2 pencil and let you go at it. But unfortunately, we still need to abide by the rules of distance learning, and that means you have to take the state test at home. And it's going to be tricky. And so I'm going to need your full cooperation on this. I'm going to need your understanding. I'm definitely going to need your patience. And I'm also going to need you guys to work really hard. But you can do it. I believe in you. So going back to the module here, if you click on this first page, it's just a basic overview on what the SBAC is. You're going to hear me use the SBAC and the CASP interchangeably. Basically, the SBAC is the specific test that you're taking as juniors, but the CASP is like the testing system that you take the test on, but I'm going to use them both the same way. Understand that it's based on the Common Core State Standards and that all juniors across the state need to take this assessment for English and math. That means you. Okay, if you go to the next page, you'll see the calendar that has the test-taking schedule. All right, and so you'll see that we will start our test. We'll take the computer adaptive test, the CAT test, on April 12th, and we'll have 2 weeks to take the English portions of the test. Okay, it comes in 2 parts. We have the CAT test and the performance test, the PT test. And so it is possible that we can get both of these tests done in 1 week. And if we need both weeks, we can also use both weeks if we need to. If you're on the red day schedule, I just found out today that I will be taking some time off on the 21st. And so I'll have more information for you about that day when we get closer to it. But anyways, when you're done with the English portion of the test, then you'll take the math test. You'll be taking the math test with your science teachers. And just like with English, you'll take a CAT test and you'll also take a PT test. And so for math, that starts on the 26th. And then you'll be taking the second portion 3rd through 7th. So I wasn't kidding. The system needed to take this test. It's very complicated, and there are several hoops that we're going to need to jump through so you guys can take this test in a secure, honest way with academic integrity. So pop up. I'm going to give you guys a presentation on this. Because it's a lot of information I need to give you, and it's really important that I have this recorded and put on the internet somewhere, just in case you're not able to make it to our Zoom meeting. If you're here because you weren't in a Zoom call, this is going to be really important to you, so pay close attention here. Going crazy here. Crazy cursor. That's what I wanted to click right there. All right, so this is the SBAC test prep. What is the CASP? Well, I just told you a little bit ago. It stands for the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. and it tests you on the Common Core state standards, and you do need to take this test in English and math. But more importantly, why is it important? Here, let me minimize my face here so you can see this. Well, what's the big incentive? What's the deal? Why is this test so important? Why should you take it seriously? It's very important because the results will show up on your transcripts. All right. And what's going to happen is these results are going to be looked at by colleges and careers programs and whoever's going to take you after high school. And they're going to look at your score here and determine what's your best placement for whatever program you're entering into. And so, you know, for example, I'll be honest with you guys, when I took this test as a junior, I did very strongly on the English portion of the test. And then I also did very poorly on the math portion of the test. And so what Bakersfield College did when I eventually moved on to there was they looked at my transcripts, they looked at my score on the SBAC, and they determined that I could enter into a college level English class because I did well on the English portion of the test. However, because my math skills weren't so great, they placed me into a high school level class to help build up my skills as I eventually worked up towards meeting my math requirements in a college level class. So this is going to determine your placement if you're moving on into college. It's very important. What's also very important about this test is that it increases the level of funding that we have at Arvin High School. Okay, if you want to have a fun year next year with a school that has lots of money, okay, you want to do well on this test. You also want to make things better for the underclassmen that are coming into our campus. Okay, you as upperclassmen have a responsibility to take care of them as well. So you have to do your best job on this test. Now, another thing too is that these results are going to show onto our school report card. And I can show you this if you guys ever want to see it, but there's a website called the California School Dashboard, and it ranks each school in California based on how well this test is done and other factors as well. And so it looks at different things like, you know, how well are students learning in math? How well are students learning in English? How well are our English language learners learning? It looks at, you know, how well are we getting you ready for college? All kinds of things like that. And it breaks it down into demographic, and it has a lot of helpful information and data on there. So if you guys are ever curious as to what that looks like, I can show you. But you want to give Arvin High School a good report, okay? You want to make us look good, okay? Because you're part of the student body too. You're part of it all. Lastly, another reason why you should take this test seriously is that it can help you qualify for the state biliteracy seal. And so if you have any questions about that, just reach out to me and I'll get that information to you. So we're first going to look at what it takes to prepare for the SBAC. All right, you're going to need two numbers. You're going to need your state ID, which is also referred to as your student number, or most commonly your SSID. Now, I'll talk more about this process later, but I can't just give this to you. You're going to have to look it up on your own, and I'll walk you guys through that process. The other number that you're going to need is your session ID. So this is the number that I'm going to give you on the morning of the test, and this is what you're going to need to log into the correct test, into Mrs. Jones' test, not Mrs. Brown's from, you know, Stockdale High School. This is going to be my test. So I'll give you that number on the morning of the test in our Zoom call when I see you before you go. So I told you finding your SSID is a bit complicated. There's only two ways that you can access your SSID, and both of them are through your personal student view accounts on Synergy. And you can do that through downloading an unofficial copy of your transcript. And you can also do that by clicking the state test option, which I think should reveal some prior test taking results, probably from middle school and earlier on. Because this testing system, I mean, these are the same SSIDs that you've been using since the 3rd grade, since you started taking state tests. So, you know, maybe you still memorize it. I don't know. All right, so the first way that you can find your SSID is by logging into your Student View accounts, and in the side navigation, you're going to want to click Course History. When you click Course History, it's going to open up a window that has a blue button that says Unofficial Transcript. You're going to want to click that sucker. And what that'll do is that'll open a PDF document, and this is only the top right corner of the document here. And underneath where it says your first and last name, you're going to see a box that says State ID. Your state ID is your SSID number that you need to log into the test. It's going to be a really long number. You're going to need to write down the whole thing and keep it somewhere safe because you need it the day of the test. The other way to find your SSID number is with the state test tab in your student view accounts. And so you can find this at the very bottom where it says state tests. It'll open up different options for you. You're going to click the one that says CAASPP CASP. And that's going to open up another PDF. And then at the top of that report, you'll be able to see your student number. And then that's going to be the number that you need to log into the test as well. So those are just two different ways that you can get this number. Another flaming hoop that we need to jump through to take the state test is we need to set up a secure browser with a school Chromebook. Or not, and if you don't have a school Chromebook, there's another process that you need to follow. I'll talk about that in a coming slide. But basically what this step means is that you're going to be downloading a program that makes it so you can't open up any other programs or windows as you're taking the state test. Because they want you to practice academic integrity, and they don't want you feeling compelled to open up, an internet browser to start Googling answers to questions. They don't want you to be able to easily communicate with somebody through email. And what these secure browsers do is they make sure that all those other programs stay shut down so you can just focus on the test. And so this is going to be really easy for you if you are using a school-issued Chromebook. Okay, if you're using a school-issued Chromebook, the way that you find this secure browser is by logging out of your Chromebook completely. Now, don't even go back to the page where you know how sometimes it wants to it might save your login information on the screen. You might see your name and your picture there, and all you have to do is type in your password and hit submit and then be logged in. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you can't be on that page. You actually have to log out of your Chromebook until you get to the white page, until you get to the page with the white box. And if you go to the bottom corner of the page and click Apps, it's going to open up a window. And on the day of the test, you're going to need to click on the Air Secure Test. And I want to make sure that you guys check and make sure that you have this logged in there. But if you have a school-issued Chromebook, it should be there. You should be fine. You should have everything you need to take this test. It gets challenging if you're using your own personal device. So if you're using your own PC, your own Mac, your own iPad, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to download the secure browser program onto your personal device. And so, I have links right here that'll take you to whatever download you need. If you have a PC, you'll click Windows. Maybe you're just using an iPad. The question was brought up to me in one of my classes about a student concerned because she's using her own personal Chromebook. If you're using your own personal Chromebook, I'm not quite sure what you need to do, but I'll be reaching out to you about that once I get an answer. Now, if at any time you get stuck with downloading these programs, if you click this link right here, this will take you to the testing website, and they'll give you further instructions for downloading those. They have videos in English and Spanish, and they also have step-by-step procedures that you need to get it set up. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about in this very long video are the testing guidelines, what you need to know when you take the test. So you must answer all the questions on the page before moving on. Understand that you may not return to a test segment once it's been completed because some of these test segments are kind of chunked up. You can't go back to any previous chunks that you've completed already. You need to answer all the questions before submitting a test. You can't return to a test once it's been submitted. You're not allowed to have any cell phones or any devices that allow you to communicate with anybody or allow you to access the internet anywhere. When you're finished with the test, you need to click End Test to submit. And not always, but possibly this year, they're going to ask you a short survey. And I don't think you're required to take this short survey. I don't think it's mandatory, but it's going to ask you some interesting information like, your parents, your guardians, what's their highest level of education? Are you male, female, or something else? Are you, those kind of questions. What's your ethnicity? That kind of thing. I don't think it's required. I don't think it's mandatory, but they might have you do that. So understand too with the test, there are pause rules. So be aware that inactivity can impact your test. So if you don't move your cursor around for less than 20 minutes, you're going to be fine. Okay, all work will remain the same. It's still going to be there. But the following things will happen if you're inactive for 20 minutes. Okay, you'll be logged off and you have to log back in all over again. You'll be returned to the current question page where you were working on. And understand too that you can't return to any previous questions to recheck the work that you made, or you won't be able to make any changes either. Also understand too with inactivity that you'll be automatically logged off after 30 minutes of an activity. So not just moving your cursor around, but not selecting any answers or typing any responses. Also understand that moving the mouse or selecting an empty space is not considered an activity here. And if you're about to be kicked off, they will give you a warning prompt. They'll flash on your screen before they log you off for good. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the test procedure on the test day. First and most importantly, make sure you have a healthy breakfast. Seriously, okay? Maybe the night before, eat something rich in omega-3s, okay? Get that blood flowing to your brain. Treat yourself nice. Have a big, yummy breakfast. Make time for that. Get plenty of sleep and rest. So the test is going to take about an hour for the computer adaptive test in both English and math. But for the performance task part of it, it should take 2 hours in your English class and an hour and a half in your math class. Now, these are just estimates. Some of you guys might need more time. Some of you guys might need less time. It really depends on where you're at. Now, on the test day, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to meet on Zoom like we usually do. And it's going to be during that class session that I'm going to give you your test session ID number that you need to log into the test. And I'm also going to double check and make sure that you guys have your SSID number. Now, the reason why you guys have to find your SSID number is because it is confidential information and I can't just email it to you. That's why I'm making you guys find it yourselves using your Student View accounts. But anyways, of course, I'll give you support, encouragement that day. I'll wish you good vibes. I'll wish you good luck. And I'll encourage you like I'm encouraging you now. Okay? Do a good job. You guys can do it. I believe in you. Okay, you can, on your own time, you can watch this video about how to take the test remotely. I'm not going to play it because YouTube doesn't like it when I play other people's videos. I guess I'm going to play it anyways. It's just kind of playing automatically here. Come on. That was frustrating. Okay, understand that while we take the test, you'll be able to communicate with me. Also during the test, you are absolutely 100% required at all times to have your webcam on and your microphone on as well. Okay, it's just a requirement for the state level test. If you currently do not have a working webcam or microphone, you need to start working now to fix that problem before it's time to do this. So the testing platform, it's going to use this widget for communication, and it's going to look like a circle at the bottom of the page, and it's going to have your webcam in there moving around. You should be able to see your face. And if you want to communicate with me directly, you'll be able to do that using this box. And that's the same guy, by the way. Same house. He just flipped the screen and put on a baseball cap and a t-shirt. Cracks me up. Anyways, so you'll be able to communicate with me only, but you won't be able to look at the webcams of any other students like we usually do in Zoom. Okay? I'll be able to see all of you, but it'll only be me that you guys see. Another tool that you'll have for communication is a text box similar to what we use in Zoom. And so when I make broadcasts to the entire class, they're going to show up here in red. But if you want to talk to me directly and privately, our conversations are going to be in white. And you'll just use this like you would a regular chat box. Okay, these are communication tools that you'll have available to you. You can raise your hand to get my attention and I can come help you. You can use this to message me. Here's another demonstration of that text box I was talking about on the last slide. You can also pause and end your test. And I think that's it. That's it for this presentation. And yeah, I know this seems like a lot of work, and it's a bummer that it took me 23 slides to have to explain that process to you, but it is really important that you guys work hard and do what you need to do so we don't have any hiccups on the morning of the test. And I'm probably not going to be feeling very wonderful that morning because I just found out that I have to get my second COVID shot on that Monday that testing starts. So if I see you for Red Day on the day after and I have a fever and chills, you know, I'd really like this to go as smoothly as possible, just in case I'm not feeling well. I've talked to other members of my family who took this second shot, and I think my father said he had like a fever of 101 and chills and body aches. So I might not be at 100% that day. I really need you guys to work with me. I appreciate your cooperation very much. Anyways, sorry, there's a little bit more I need to do before I end this really long video. But what we're going to do this week, and here, I'm going to change my view here. I'm going to require you guys to find your SSID number this week, just so I know for my peace of mind that you were able to locate it and write it down. And so I posted the instructions that I gave you earlier on finding those SSID numbers. Use whichever one you like. And I want you to take this quiz. And this quiz shouldn't take you too long, because as soon as you find your SSID number, okay, it's going to ask you the one question: what are the last 4 digits of your SSID number? Now, your SSID number, I think, is like 10 digits long, but I only want the last 4 digits. Oops. The last 4 digits, so I can confirm that you found the right number. So when you find those, put them right here, just the last 4, not the whole number, and then submit it to me. And then I'll be able to check and make sure that you have the right number. And then we're going to do the same thing on the next page too, only this time I want to confirm that you were able to set up your secure browser. So like I said, if you have a Chromebook, this is going to be a lot easier for you. It's already set up for you. But if you're using your own personal device to take the test, I have the links right here. For example, I'm obviously using a PC. And so if I click Windows, it's going to open up another window for me. That'll take me to the page that I need to download the browser. It's right here. So I'll click this button, download the secure browser, and install it. If you're using Mac, you'll press the appropriate link. iPad, it's down there too. And if you get stuck, there again is that link that will give you the videos that you need to help you with that process. And so this quiz asks, oh, I guess I already took the quiz. I'm going to take the quiz again to show you. Graded it for another class. Okay, so when you take this quiz, I'm going to ask you just 3 questions. The first question asks, what type of device do you use for distance learning? Okay, I'm going to use my computer as an example. I'm on my own personal device. I'm on my own PC. So I'm going to select, instead of a school Chromebook, I'm going to select my own personal device. Click. Okay. If you are using a school Chromebook, do you know how to find the AirSecure Test app? Okay, obviously I'm on a PC right now, so I'm going to select the option that says I am not using a school Chromebook. However, if you were using a school Chromebook and you know how to find the AirSecure Test app, you will select yes. If you're having trouble finding it, you're going to select no. Now, if you select no, you're going to get a wrong answer, but that doesn't reflect in your grade at all. That just lets me know that I need to get in contact with you and help you find it better. Now for question number 3, if you're using your own personal device, which I am, for distance learning, were you able to download the secure browser program? Okay, if you were successful, you'll click yes. If you had a hard time with it, you'll click no. If you're using a school Chromebook, you will select I am using a school Chromebook. You'll hit submit quiz, and then you'll be done. Now on the next page of the module, I just pasted that video on how to take the remote test. This is the same one that was in that slides presentation. I just put it in here so it's easier for you guys to find. But if you go to the last page of the module, this is where you go to take a practice test, because a lot of you guys are worried about how well you're going to do. So the best way to prepare is to take this practice test right here. And so you'll click the link. Okay, you'll sign in as a guest. It's going to ask you your grade level. You guys are in 11th grade. And then it's going to open up a bunch of options for you down here. You're not taking all these tests. That doesn't matter. Okay, you're going to be taking the 6 at the top here, the 6 up here. Okay, you can start the high school ELA practice test. This is the computer adaptive CAT test for English. And you can also take the PT test for English right here. Same thing with math. There's the CAT, there's the PT, and then there's some other tests down here you can take. You're not taking the CAA. You're not taking the CAST. Some of you might be taking the LPAC, but another teacher will be talking to you about this. So if you want to take this practice test too, you can do so if advised by another staff member. You're not taking any of these either. Okay, in my class, you're just taking these first 6. And so you can take those right there, and that will help you better prepare for the test. So I know this has been an extremely long video, longer than normal, but it was packed full of information that I hope can help you when we have to take the state test when we come back from spring break. I hope you guys have a fabulous spring break. I hope you guys relax, take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you again when we come back.